Hey guys, Richard here with Downgrid Survival. So yesterday I recorded a video about the food crisis, and there's some information I was going to share. And before I was able to put that video out, some brand new information came out that just blew my mind, and I wanted to share it with you. So stick around. I'm going to show that. I'm going to actually show you. I'm going to put it up on the screen here in just a few minutes. But first, let's just talk for a moment about the food crisis that continues to unfold around us. I've been seeing some reports, a lot from social media, where people are sharing pictures and making comments about what's going on in their communities. So that's where a lot of this information is coming from. But I was seeing some folks saying that they're not really seeing shortages yet in their area, that their stores are pretty well stocked. And I can kind of say that the same thing here. I have seen some small inconveniences where certain things were out of stock, but for the most part our stores are still well stocked, and so that's been great. There are other people that chimed in and said that's unusual because our stores are like really bare and they're having a really hard time finding things. So there's certainly some disparity there, depending on where you live. Is kind of dependent on if you're experiencing any kind of food shortages. So if you're living in some place where you haven't experienced it yet, just be ready, because it could happen at a moment's notice, because it's already happening in other places. I saw a couple of people were talking about things that were missing or things that they haven't been able to get for months. One person in particular was talking about chicken. They haven't seen chicken in a month or so because it just hasn't been available. And so there are things like that that are happening. So just be aware of that. Now, there was another comment that was made that I found kind of interesting, and that is someone pointed out that a lot of the canned goods in their stores have short expiration dates. And they said typically they would go and buy canned goods and it would have at least a 2-year shelf life. Some items certainly have 3-year shelf life. But they're saying that a lot of things they're finding now, they expire this year, expire within 6 months. And so that's a little unusual. That there aren't new products being put out on the shelves, and for whatever reason they've got some older stock. Maybe it came out of a warehouse or something, right? And now it's being put out on the shelves and it's being sold. So that's something to be watching for when you're out there shopping for your canned goods, and pay attention to that. That could be happening in your area. Then here's the next big clue. Someone else commented that they went to the store and they were buying some paper products, right? They were getting some paper plates, getting ready for the 4th of July holiday, some napkins and cups and things of that nature. And the only thing they could find were holiday-themed paper products. Now, why do you think that would be? To me, that tells me they don't have any to put out, and that they're pulling this stuff out of a warehouse somewhere that had been stocked up and didn't sell last year or the year before. And that's what they're putting out on the shelf. They're putting out holiday-themed products, because if they don't, there wouldn't be anything at all. So that tells you the crisis that's unfolding and how things are starting to evolve. And we've been saying this for a couple of months now. Get ready, because by the end of the summer, end of fall, it's really going to get rolling. And then all next year is going to be just really bad. Okay? So pay attention to that. And if you've seen any of these things, make a comment down below and share it with me, and I'll be able to share it maybe in the next video, but certainly get it out there in the community and let folks know about it. So please leave those comments below. Now, here's another thing that just came out. I just found this last night, and this just blew my mind. And I'm recording this video in the truck, so I'm just going to talk about it, but when I get ready to publish this video, I'll put links, and I'll try to put something up on the screen. But here's the deal. Someone has compiled a list of all the food processing plant fires and disruptions, and they put it into a map. So it's an interactive map where you can go and look, not just here in the United States, but around the world, and take a look at all the things that are happening that has somehow disrupted our food supply. And the interesting thing is, and maybe it's because there's not a lot of information or data from other countries. Okay. So as you look at this map, you'll see that in other countries, there's just not a lot of information there. It's happened. But when you look at the United States, it is overwhelming. I mean, On the right side of the page, there's a list of some 500 incidents somehow related to the food supply where things have been disrupted. We're talking about all the fires. Now, we know there's close to, right at now, 100 fires that have taken place at food processing plants. And we know that, on this list, it talks about grain silos that have caught fire or somehow become contaminated or damaged. They're listing all the animals that have died off, all the chickens that have been euthanized and destroyed because of the bird flu, the cattle that mysteriously died, and the list goes on and on and on. And now that you see it all compiled in one place, it's overwhelming, and it's a bit of a shock to see and to look at. And I tell you, it was quite an eye-opener for me, that just how serious it is. I mean, as a prepper, I already knew it was serious. I've been talking about it, but seeing all that information compiled in one spot where you can easily go and look at it, it just amazes me. Now, some of these things on this list are simply hacks, where cyber attacks disrupted facilities or disrupted operations. So there's quite a few of those. And surprisingly, I drilled down on the map and looked, and there was a couple in my area where a couple of grocery stores were hacked, and they had small fires. And that's just right here in my own community. But I tell you, it's happening. And if you're still not prepped, if you haven't stockpiled food, all I can say is I'm going to be releasing another video here real soon about death after SHTF. And you need to pay attention to that video, because it's going to be very, very devastating, very, very widespread when everything starts to collapse. That's all I got to say about this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, please. And I will see you in the next video.